I thought Sarah was the love of my life. For 5 years, our marriage felt like a storybook romance. We had a beautiful home, two wonderful kids, and a bond I believed was unbreakable. She was my rock, my confidant, my everything. I never once doubted her love or her loyalty. Looking back, maybe I was just naive. Maybe I only saw what I wanted to see. The first crack in our perfect world appeared on a Tuesday. It was so ordinary, so trivial that I almost missed it. Sarah had told me she was going to a yoga class after work, something she did every week. But when I called her around 7 p.m. to see if she wanted me to pick up dinner, her voice sounded strained, distant. She said she was still at the studio, wrapping up. But in the background, I heard something strange, the clatter of plates and the loud chatter of a restaurant. It was unmistakable. I asked her about it, and she quickly covered, saying the yoga studio was next to a noisy cafe. It was a flimsy excuse, but I let it go. I wanted to believe her. Why would she lie about something so small? The next few weeks were a blur of small, unsettling inconsistencies. She'd say she was working late, but a colleague would mention seeing her leave hours earlier. She'd claim she was having lunch with her friend Emily, but when I ran into Emily at the grocery store, she said she hadn't seen Sarah in weeks. Each lie was like a tiny paper cut. Alone, they were insignificant, but together, they were starting to bleed my trust dry. I felt a knot of anxiety tightening in my stomach. The woman I shared my bed with was becoming a stranger. I tried to confront her, gently at first. I'd ask, "Honey, are you sure you were at the office last night? Your boss mentioned the team left early." She'd just laugh it off, her smile never quite reaching her eyes. "Oh, you know how forgetful he is. I had to stay back to finish a report." She was so smooth, so convincing. She had an answer for everything. She'd look me straight in the eye, her expression one of pure innocence, and tell a lie so effortlessly it made my head spin. It was then that I started to realize this wasn't just about a few white lies. This was a pattern. This was who she was. The breaking point came a month later, on our anniversary. I had planned a surprise weekend getaway to the coast, the place where I had proposed. I booked the hotel, arranged for my parents to watch the kids, and spent the day imagining the look on her face. That evening, I called her, excited to tell her to pack a bag. She didn't answer. I called again. And again. Voicemail. A cold dread started to creep over me. I drove home, my heart pounding against my ribs. Her car was gone. I waited up all night, pacing the living room, my mind racing through 1,000 worst-case scenarios. Just after sunrise, she walked in, looking tired but composed. She told me her car had broken down on a remote road after visiting a sick aunt I didn't even know she had. She said her phone had died and she had to wait hours for a tow truck. The story was detailed, filled with specific, plausible-sounding events. She even seemed upset, frustrated by the whole ordeal. But this time, I didn't buy it. Her performance was too polished. While she was in the shower, I did something I never thought I'd do. I went into her car. Tucked under the passenger seat was a receipt. It was from a fancy hotel downtown, time-stamped from the previous evening. It was a room for two, and the name on the receipt wasn't hers. It was a man's name, a name I recognized. It was her ex-boyfriend from college. The world tilted on its axis. Every breath felt like I was inhaling shards of glass. It wasn't just one lie. It was my entire marriage. Our life together was a carefully constructed facade, built on a foundation of her deception. The love I felt, the trust I had given so freely, it was all based on a character she had been playing. The woman I loved didn't exist. She was an illusion. When she came out of the shower, wrapped in a towel and smiling, I just held up the receipt. The color drained from her face. For the first time, she had no words, no clever excuse, no convincing performance. There was only silence. A heavy, suffocating silence that confirmed everything. In that moment, I didn't feel anger or rage. I just felt empty. A profound, hollow emptiness where my love for her used to be. I learned a painful lesson that day. It wasn't the affair that destroyed me. It was the ease with which she lied. It was the realization that the person I had built my life with was capable of looking me in the eye, day after day, and weaving a web of deceit without a flicker of remorse. You can forgive a mistake, but how can you rebuild a life with someone whose very nature is to lie? The love I had for her, so deep and unwavering, didn't just fade. It evaporated. It was poisoned at the root by the simple, terrifying fact that I could never, ever believe a word she said again. Sometimes, the deepest betrayals aren't shouted from the rooftops. They're whispered in 1,000 little lies until the truth finally breaks you. Thank you for watching this story. If you've ever experienced something similar, know that you're not alone and healing is possible. Please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel for more content. Take care.